I'm explaining a film from 2024 titled The Beekeeper. Spoilers ahead. Enjoy the content. At the beginning of the movie, we see retired schoolteacher Eloise Parker living alone in Massachusetts. Adam Clay is a small beekeeper that she leases out her barn to. Later, after discovering on her computer that her hard drive is infected, Eloise phones the number given in order to avoid losing all of her data. When Boyd picks up the phone, he informs her that he is employed by United Data. He reassures Eloise that the alert is a part of the software package she had installed on her computer and that their antivirus program is the source of it when she informs him about it. He advises her to uninstall the older version and install the latest one. However, when Eloise mentions she isn't tech-savvy, Boyd suggests her to download software that would allow him to reinstall remotely. Boyd gains remote access to Eloise's computer upon her acceptance and cooperation, providing his crew with instructions on how to execute the scam and access to her account details. Aware of the challenge, Boyd promises to pay Eloise back for the membership fees. He informs Eloise there is a $500 credit, but when she looks at the account, she sees a $50,000 credit instead of the $500. Boyd, panting, admits his horrible error, mentioning his children and expressing concern that he would lose his career. Eloise promises to transfer the extra money back since she doesn't want him to suffer consequences, but as soon as she enters the master password, her laptop crashes and Boyd continues to empty her account completely. Eloise is shocked to see that all of the money in her account has vanished when she restarts her laptop.
I just got a message saying that there's a problem with my computer.
Yes, ma'am, we got this.
Her bank is also alerting her to potential fraud, which exacerbates the situation. That evening, Adam arrives at Eloise's home as planned for dinner. But he steals a knife from the kitchen because he feels uneasy. Verona, Eloise's daughter and an FBI agent, points a pistol at him and orders that he kneel. When Verona asks Adam who he is and what he is doing there, she is shocked to see her mother's dead in her mother's house. Adam extends his regrets to her. Verona chooses to confront Adam after growing suspicious of the agent's story of his suicide. He explains that he rented space in the barn from Eloise. When asked about his presence in the house, Adam reveals that Eloise didn't respond when he knocked, and concerned by the sound of a smoke alarm and noticing her car in the driveway, he entered to investigate. Later, when Verona looks through Eloise's computer and discovers all of her accounts are empty, she discovers her mother has been tricked. The next morning, Adam is set free as it was Eloise's fingerprints, not his, that were found on the handgun. Adam says it makes sense when Verona later apologizes to him for what transpired the previous evening. She invites him to come see her house and thanks him for looking after her mother. Verona says she believes her mother liked him because he reminded her of her brother, a Marine raider who was killed a few years ago. Then she reveals that all of her mother's accounts were empty because she was conned. When he queries her about who did it, Verona reveals that the crew responsible has been operating for 2 years without identifiable names. She goes on, even if they did, a defense attorney would only argue that the elderly victim gave his assent to entrust his whole life savings to an unknown individual. Adam points out that when a child is hurt, parents get involved. When an old person is hurt, those who care about them are ready to step in and help, but if no one observes or cares, they could have to handle the fallout on their own. Verona is determined and concerned, and she vows to exact revenge on whoever did this. Declaring he must go to the hive, Adam gets up and leaves with the jar of honey he had brought for Eloise. Adam retrieves a satellite phone from one of the beehive boxes and contacts a woman, requesting a favor to obtain a name and address. Later, the woman gets in touch with him and tells him that while they are traveling globally, she was able to locate the location. Security tries to stop Adam as he arrives at the United Data Group building, but he is determined to go inside and set the place on fire. When the security guard tries to bar him from entering, Adam confronts him and asks if he knows that they work for con artists that take advantage of the vulnerable in society.
This is private property.
Do you know what they do here? Scamming the weakest in our society.
Buddy, I'm counting to 3.
1, 2, 3.
He knocks them down as they try to attack him, enters the building, and tells the receptionist to alert other companies to evacuate immediately since there is going to be a fire. After a while, there is a powerful explosion, ultimately destroying the building. Later, Boyd informs his boss Derek Danforth about the incident that a man destroyed their building, resulting in 4 casualties. Derek is taken aback and inquires as to the man's identity, but Boyd replies that he does not know it and that all of the discs and cameras were destroyed in the fire. When asked to help Derek locate the person, former CIA Director Wallace Westwild says this sounds like a job for the police and rejects. Derek calls Boyd back, provides his login details, and instructs him to examine their cloud to see if any recent transactions are linked to anybody. What if, Boyd thinks, he finds this person? Which Derek coldly orders him to assemble a wrecking crew to kill him. Meanwhile, Verona meets her partner Matt outside the United Data Group building, and he informs her that the receptionist witnessed a muscular man in his 40s manhandling security and entering the building with gas cans. Conversely, Boyd commands a group of criminals to destroy Adam's beehives when they get there. Then, intent on killing Adam, they make their way toward the barn. But Adam kills them one by one with such skill that, following a furious battle, he chops off Garnett's fingers, leaving him powerless to kill himself. Later, Verona discovers that the individuals who lost their lives in the fire at her mother's house were employed by United Data Group. Matt asks if it's possible that the person who set the United Data Group on fire is also the one who rents the space from her mother. Boyd calls Derek in the meanwhile and informs him that the man cut the fingers on his right hand. When Derek asks him who the man is, Boyd replies that he doesn't know, but that he keeps bees. Adam instantly punches Boyd, pulls him out of his car, and ties him up with a tow strap.
My fingers? He cut them off. Oh, what the fuck, bro?
Don't move.
Boyd is flung off a bridge and into the river when Adam speeds up his car after getting inside. Then he talks to Derek and lets him know that he's coming for him. Verona tells Matt that Boyd, a well-known mafia associate, was the mastermind behind the United Data Group members' deception. She thinks United Data Group is only one of numerous contact centers, therefore they need to find the central office that manages them all. Matt informs her that Adam is a ghost with only a birth certificate and social security number when she inquires about him. Just then, a call comes in, prompting him to urge Verona to leave as they've located Boyd. Meanwhile, Derek's mom Jessica calls Wallace and tells him that she has never seen Derek this scared. She offers him a board seat in the holding company. Wallace replies that he doesn't require a board seat in the holding company and, when she offers him one, assures her that he will keep Derek secure. Wallace contacts CIA Director Janet, requesting assistance and revealing that a beekeeper has shown unwanted interest in Jessica's child. Janet informs him that his problem has been retired by the show when she calls him again later that night. The beekeeper in question has been made aware of the problem and will pursue it further. Concerning the present beekeeper, Wallace claims that he is a lunatic who should have been sacked months ago. Later, the current beekeeper launches an attack on Adam, intending to kill him. However, he manages to escape, and when local police arrive at the scene, she shoots them as well. Adam uses the occasion to his advantage and kicks her back during their struggle. He abruptly disappears as she attempts to shoot him. Angry, she climbs into her pickup and starts destroying a gas station with a machine gun. Adam hits her in the midst of the chaos and knocks her down with a honey jar. Then he sets her ablaze, sending her tumbling to her death from her car. As Adam approaches her lifeless body and hacks off one of her fingers, the gas station explodes. Janet calls Wallace to let him know that the problem hasn't been fixed. He's on his own now that the beekeepers have considered the circumstances and have chosen to maintain their neutrality. The next day, Verona and Matt arrive at the gas station, and a detective informs them that the vehicle is registered to Anisette Landris. Verona asks Matt if he knows who Anisette is, and he replies that she is someone who doesn't exist in any commercial or government database, much like Adam. Wallace, meantime, gathers a group of ex-Special Forces personnel and educates them on projects such as the Beekeepers, about which even he was ignorant. However, it seems that a retired beekeeper has left the program and is behaving in what he perceives to be the best interest of the hive by mistake. Meanwhile, Adam gains access to the beehive facility using Anisette's severed finger, secures the necessary items, and collects crucial information. However, Verona and Matt are met by Special Counsel Amanda Munoz and Deputy Director Prigg. Verona informs them, indicating that they think Adam Clay is connected to 3 major crime sites in the region. Based on the characteristics of his pseudonym, they believe Adam is associated with a top-secret operation called Beekeeper. They see him as extremely talented and driven, headed for Boston, with 9 Star United as his next possible goal. This business runs local call centers, like the one Adam set on fire. She responds that Adam is defending the hive when Prigg questions her about why he is going on this rampage. Prigg stands forward and promises to give them all the help they require. Later, the SWAT team arrives at the 9 Star United building, but ex-Special Forces operatives, acting on Wallace's orders, are already present, and Petties, their leader, instructs the SWAT team to leave. The manager tells Derek about Petties and instructs Petties to stay out of his affairs and focus solely on completing the current task. When they turn to go, one of them is startled to discover Adam among them and tries to flee, but Adam slams him into a table. The manager is convinced that anybody who attempts to leave will be fired, so he advises the others to go as well in order to protect themselves from harm. Pettis and company start fire as they get closer, but Adam dodges their bullets with skill. He eventually approaches Pettis and they start a vicious brawl. After a difficult struggle, he manages to take Pettis out as well. Verona and Matt arrive, and a man informs Verona that Adam is inside the building. Verona decides not to wait for assistance and enters the structure. Adam confronts the manager in the meanwhile, and despite his cries for compassion, Adam grabs and throws him away. The manager discloses the name of the corporation he works for, characterizing it as an untouchable business. Adam, however, asserts that no one is untouchable and that occasionally the queen needs to be replaced when the hive becomes unbalanced. Adam tells Verona that her mother's death is directly related to the man at that moment. Though she maintains that laws are in place to deal with such situations, Verona says she believes him. After making his way out of there, Adam assaults Matt and takes him out. After taking the rifle apart, Adam responds that he understands and walks away from Matt as he begs for forgiveness. Later, Verona and Matt also get shocked to know who is behind this scam. Meanwhile, Wallace learns that his team is dead, and he suggests to Derek that it's time to call his mother as Adam can't make his move on them if they are in her proximity. Derek gives his mother a call and says he wants to spend this weekend with her. In an unexpected turn of events, Jessica is revealed to be the President of the United States. Director Prigg is later met by Verona, who informs him that Adam appears to be pursuing the money. When Prigg inquires about the name of the business, she responds that it is Danforth Enterprises, which was started and is run by Jessica Danforth, who just resigned in order to take office as the 45th President of the United States. Because of Jessica's involvement in the scheme, they fear that Clay may try to kill Derek in addition to Jessica. When they arrive at the President's beachfront estate, the Secret Service is already there. For added security, Wallace has also employed a crew of mercenaries, one of whom, Lazarus, lost his leg in a prior confrontation with a beekeeper. After some time Jessica also reaches there, and asks Wallace what's going on. Meanwhile, Adam reaches there by hiding under a truck in a security service uniform, and when an agent goes to check, Adam attacks him and takes his place, and gets along with the rest of the team. After that, Adam gets dressed up and heads to the celebration. Derek verifies his investments when Jessica presents him to Prigg, who asks whether Derek is familiar with United Data Group and 9-Star United. Prigg goes on to question him about his knowledge of a classified algorithmic data mining software program that the intelligence community has created. Verona, on the other hand, spots Adam and calls the SWAT squad right away. When Verona and the mercenaries eventually locate Adam, they ask him to kneel. As Lazarus prepares to shoot him, Adam presses a button on a remote, triggering an explosion in a vehicle, and seizing the opportunity, Adam grabs Lazarus's gun, eliminates the mercenaries, and makes a quick escape. Meanwhile, Jessica tells Derek that he broke the rules and corrupted an imperfect but functioning system. She responds that they were already wealthy because Derek's father had an empire, and he replies he was only attempting to assist her. Jessica makes the decision to inform the country as a whole that she will be telling the Beekeeper the truth about what he did. Wallace, on the other hand, runs into Adam and attempts to stop him from going into Jessica's office, but Adam pushes him away, claims it's personal, and breaks his fingers. Derek murders Prigg in the meanwhile, and when Adam comes, the door bursts open, and Derek kidnaps his mother. Verona and Matt also reach there and she asks him to put down his weapon. Adam says you decide who you work for. For the law or for justice. Derek attempts to kill his mother, but Clay kills him first and escapes through a nearby window. Despite Verona having a clear shot, she decides not to shoot Clay, and he flees with the aid of the scuba gear he had hidden on the beach. If you enjoyed the movie recap, you can subscribe to this channel.